It's been revealed that, and I'm pretty sure you won't be at all surprised, police in half of all UK forces are under investigation for abusing their powers for sexual gain. Let me be clear, that's police in half of forces, not half of police in forces. The IOPC is said to be currently looking into 31 complaints against police across the country. Out of 43 territorial police forces, 5 are currently involved in more than a single case against officers, with the Metropolitan Police currently said to be dealing with 6 investigations into deviant police constables. Territorial police forces means bog standard police force, not including Northern Ireland, Wales or Scotland's national police forces, nor does it include the British Transport Police, Civil Nuclear Constabulary and the Ministry of Defence Police. There is said to be 260 IOPC investigations ongoing at the moment, out of which 31 investigations are due to complaints of police abusing their powers for sexual gain. The figures were released after a Freedom of Information request to the IOPC, which showed that at the end of January this year, 21 forces out of 43 from Northumbria to Devon and Cornwall had officers under investigation for abuse of sexual powers. South Wales had 3 cases, whilst Kent and Midlands and West Yorkshire all had 2 each. There were 29 investigations into allegations of sexual assault and harassment, and 32 of domestic abuse. The biggest category of complaint was over officers' use of force, of which there were 81 allegations being investigated. Police using their position for sexual gain is now the largest corruption issue within the police that the IOPC are having to deal with, and even 2 years ago it accounted for 60% of all IOPC investigations. Harriet Wistrich, director of the Centre for Women's Justice, said, "You know the stories that have emerged about this kind of culture within policing and the number of police officers who are using their position for sexual gain. Those figures don't particularly surprise me. I'm sure it's actually a bit of the tip of an iceberg because those are just the cases that have been reported and have come to light." She said, "I suspect that this can be anything from a police officer being inappropriate or asking for a victim's phone number to a full-on sexual assault or a relationship with a vulnerable woman who isn't aware that this is a kind of abuse of his position and may be so vulnerable as to agree to it, but subsequently realises that she is being abused." Harriet Wistrich urged for police forces to adopt a zero-tolerance approach to such conduct, encouraging more victims to come forward, protecting whistleblowing officers and from victimisation, and improve vetting of police recruits. Something a lot of us have been saying for a long time now. The IOPC was unable to say if all those officers under investigation for abuse of powers for sexual gain were men. Well, if it wasn't clear with all these kind of reports put out here on the channel recently, some of which never make it into national newspapers or appear on the evening news, this is endemic within the police. Personally, I see it as a natural progression for many, in that they start by flexing their muscles with people on the streets, mainly younger adults and children. They then progress onto bigger prey, knowing that they have weapons and a gang of thugs to back them up, so they can start to get a bit more brave. Also knowing that if anyone attempts to stand up to their abuse, they can simply cry assault of emergency worker. The next stage is trying something a little more risky, such as seeing how much power they can have over a woman, albeit generally a vulnerable woman. However, they fail to see just how little power they need over a vulnerable woman, and so don't see how pathetic they really are. But before long, the culture has seeped so deep into them that they start dating or other police constables, which causes conflict. As we know, being a cop, you must be right in every situation, and when there's 2 of you trying to flex your muscles at each other, it inevitably turns into violence, hence why the profession has the highest rate of domestic abuse. Then, when they know they can't dominate each other anymore, some turn on children and start to abuse them, or at least think about it. Granted, it may not come about exactly as I've just laid out in this series of events, but it seems that many police do reach at least one stage of this type of behaviour, and the police superiors simply don't do enough to find these people and deal with them quickly enough, resulting in members of the public being put at huge risk every time they interact with a member of the Blue Line gang. Big thank you to all the channel supporters, especially these guys. Your support is truly appreciated. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, as I know many of you will. Until next time, stay safe, look after each other, film the police and other officials.